Hey, what's up guys? Danny here and Matt with Powersport Brothers. So we got a new quad for you guys here today. It's a pretty sweet quad. Here it is. So it's a Raptor 700 2006. It's pretty much all original. We just picked it up last night. It was a super good deal, so we said why not? Let's get another Raptor in here and get it back up to being riding capable. So yeah, the guy we bought it from told us that it's been sitting for a few years. As you can see, it has like some old like dirt and sand on it, and it's just been sitting, he said, for I think like 5 years, 6 years. And so we kind of know going into this that I mean, it's been sitting. We can see these tires are like pretty shot. If you look down here, they're like completely, you can see the inside of the tire. The good thing is though is that these are the original tires. So if you're ever going to look to buy a quad, just look at the tire date. We know that the Raptors came with these Dunlops, these KT 341s, and if we go over here and look, we can see the date of the tire. Okay, so yeah, you can see right over here the date on the tire. It's in a little circle. It says 2205. So that means that these tires were made the 22nd week of 2005. This is a 2006 quad, so it's probably the original tires. It's the Dunlops. It was a one owner quad. We saw in the title, so it's all pretty legit. It's just been sitting, so we haven't started it yet. We did crank it over for a few seconds just to make sure that it has compression, that it's not seized up, and that wasn't the case, so we decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on it. So the nice thing is it does have some nice mods. It has the big three, which is, it has the White Brothers exhaust, and then if I pull the seat cover off, it has the Pro-Flow air filter. It's just super dirty. And then it has a Power Commander PC3 right in here. So with those mods, she makes some good power. So we're pretty excited to see how she rips. But yeah, so we have some plans for it. We already ordered all the parts. They're gonna be coming in here soon. So we're gonna do all new tires. We already bought those. We're gonna do some nice graphics. We were thinking to do this, like make this quad look like blue, black, white, and just make it look super clean. We have some grips on the way, new chain, because this chain has just been sitting for so long. I have no idea if it's any good. Might as well just get it swapped with the new one. And then we're just gonna do a full tune-up. We're gonna do oil, coolant. We're gonna check the valves, make sure everything is good. Pretty much just go through it all, clean the intake, make sure the injector is spraying like it should. And we're gonna go through this with you guys and show you guys how to do pretty much all of these things. So this is gonna be a pretty good in-depth video of how pretty much we go about a quad when it's been sitting a few years. So alrighty guys, well, hope you enjoy this video. It's gonna be a lot of work, but I think it'll be really cool once it's done. It's a sweet quad. I mean, we have YFZs, we have Hondas and everything, but Raptors, they're the big dogs in the game. So we're gonna go ahead and get this fixed up. Alright, hey, what's up guys? We're back with the Raptor build. So we went ahead and took off all the wheels, got it on some jacks and jack stands. And then over here are the 4 tires. They're all pretty shot, so we just bought all new tires. So Matt, right now, we're gonna go ahead and disassemble them all. We have our little cheap Harbor Freight tire installer and remover tool. We'll show you guys kind of how that works. And then yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just take the valves out. We always buy new valves right here, as you can see. We're gonna go ahead and put those in. So right now we'll go ahead and take all the valves out and go ahead and get all the tires dismounted. Alright guys, so we got all the tires off. We went ahead and used our professional tire installer, de-installer tool. And now we went ahead and broke all these beads. So you can see they're all broken. It was kind of a pain because these tires are so old, so that's why we didn't really film it, but you just use this tool and break them down. So we went ahead and broke them all. Now we're gonna go ahead and show you guys how to take off a tire. It's pretty simple. So yeah, Matt's just gonna go ahead and put it on. He puts that little X on to hold it down. There you go. Just like that. So everything you use is this metal rod.
Tighten this down.
Here you go. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just tighten this down, just so it can hold the rim down good. I'll go ahead and I usually use some soapy water to do this part, just so the tire can slip on the rim easier on and off. Okay. And all you do is you got this metal sharp end. Just get one, you get it down. So the rim has like a V. You want to get all the sides of the tires kind of down in that V so it can pull out to the side as much as possible. And you go ahead and just pry it off like that. And then you use the center post and you just pull against it. There you go. So you get one side off. You do the same thing with the bottom side. So you pull it up. You can see a little opening in there. I'm gonna go ahead and stick my tool right in that opening. And then again, just work against the center post. Just nice and easy. And there you go. That's how you get a tire off. It's pretty simple. I'd say that's the easiest part. Now we're gonna go ahead and just clean these surfaces where the bead. Ow! Mother of freaking.
What happened?
You just want to clean the surface of the
What happened to your
bead
finger?
lies. And just watch out. Sometimes there's some raggedy edges, like you see that little fish tail. Mother.
What happened to your finger?
So just be careful, kids, because you can get a little fish gill if you're not careful.
Yeah, we're gonna change the valve stems too.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and change that valve stem and just go ahead and get the new tire on. We're just gonna clean it carefully. Alright guys, so I got a band-aid on my finger. But now we're gonna go ahead and show you guys how to install a new valve stem. So these ones you could really, if you already have the tire off, the easiest way is just to cut them or break them off and then pull them out. And then to install them, you could just pull it with a plier through, but we have this tool. So you go ahead and just thread it on.
I'll put it through.
Oh,
here.
actually, sorry. First you're gonna want to put it through and then you're gonna want to thread it on. If you strip the threads, it's okay. And then you want to use again maybe some soapy water to just get it nice and wet so it doesn't break. Okay. And all you do is just pull up, pull straight up. There you go. And the new valve's in. It'll just slide because it's a tapered fit. So remove the tool, and there you have it. Got the new tires right here. You have it. To install it, we're gonna go ahead and just, again, soap up the rim, soapy water, just get it all nice and lubricated. You could use like WD-40, but sometimes it makes like too much of a mess. It's just too slippery. So soapy water works best. Just wet the tire a little bit as well. Okay. And then sometimes these tires have a rotation, but this is the first wheel we're doing, so it doesn't really matter. So we're gonna go ahead and just throw it on. So sometimes you can just slip it on by going hard at an angle and just pushing hard against the stand and twisting, and you can get the first side of the bead on. There you go. So yeah, the first side of the bead, you can usually do that. Just push, not flat, but at an angle against the rim, and you can kind of get that bead to slip on. The second side is a little bit harder. So what you're gonna wanna do is grab your rod again, and you're gonna put it up against the center post again, and it has two ends. This one that's kind of like an angled end, you're gonna want to put it here on the inside of the rim, and then again you'll want to angle the rim.
Just get half of it in.
Yeah. Here, you wanna hold this? So again, we'll go ahead and just this part is
You
gonna
need
be
my
cut
help,
out.
huh?
Yeah.
It's a 2-people job.
Okay, so we went ahead and just mounted the GoPro because you're gonna need 2 people for this process. So you're gonna have one guy go ahead and just push and try to mount the tire as much as they can, and then I'll go with the rod. Go ahead and just put that V in there like I said. Go ahead and just work against the tire. Using the right side.
It doesn't matter, honestly.
But is it this end?
Either way, you're pushing down hard.
I feel like this is the way it's supposed to go. I always forget.
No. You're not supposed to be. You're supposed to be like pushing the bead part down.
So this is a little harder because you're gonna have to watch out. Push back a little. You're gonna have to just using this V, go ahead and just push the bead down and leverage yourself against the center post. It's a lot easier if you have 2 people. I feel like it'd be impossible with one person. Just have to keep working it. Go from side to side. Yeah.
Get in there. Hold on, try.
I forgot.
You just put. But you need to hold it.
See, you gotta Okay.
So you get this V part in, and you kind of hold it at a 45. You have to hold this a little higher.
And then another thing you want to do is down in here, there's where the bead sits. You want to go down in the V. You want to push the tire down as the other guy's doing that. Push the tire kind of against the rim. There you go. And that's pretty much it. So there's a lot of little stuff we had to learn. A lot of little tricks, but it's definitely doable with this cheap $50 Harbor Freight stand. It does take a lot of manual labor, but yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. And then we have a bead setter, whatever it's called, this right here. We go ahead and just inflate this to like 75 psi, 80 psi, set it in the bead. We can show you guys that too. And then just open the valve and it'll set the tire right on the bead. So we'll go ahead and do that next. Alright guys, so we got this bead seater filled up with air. He has the line hooked up to the valve. So as soon as I open this valve, he can go ahead and just fill it up. So you just put it to the edge, like this, to the edge, and go ahead and just open the valve. And then you want to go ahead and just keep inflating the tire until it seats everywhere around. You can also use some soapy water. I already put some beforehand.
And inflate it to like 36 foot-pounds so it seats.
Foot-pounds.
There we go.
Yeah, so normally you run ATV tires at like what, 10, 15 psi, but for the purpose of setting the bead properly on the valve stem, you want to go ahead and just inflate it to almost max. If the tire says, this one says 36 psi, we're gonna go ahead and fill it up to like 30 psi so it can set. So yeah, it says max 32 psi. So we'll go ahead and go to 30 and just let it sit like that overnight, whatever. And then it should be good. So you can see, you can also spray soapy water once you're done and see if there's any leaks through the bead. You can see that there's none, there's no bubbles or anything like that. So this tire should be done. So that is pretty much how you install a tire with this cheap Harbor Freight installer. We're gonna go ahead and just do the rest quickly here and move on to the next thing with our Raptor build. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Some fresh rubber. That's what we like to see.
Alright, so we're painting the rims now. This is our first time using the spray gun on the rims, and it's a lot better than the rattle cans. We just sanded them down with 150 grit. Cleaned them off with some prep. And they're looking really good. They turn out a lot cleaner with the spray gun rather than the rattle can. So we're gonna wait for them to dry and throw them on, and then we'll show you how it looks. Alright, we're gonna change the oil now on this Raptor. Usually you would start it, let it warm up a little, and then change the oil, but this one is not running. It's fine, but first thing you want to do is just take out this dipstick, and then we're gonna take out the oil fill cap on the other side. It's just a 10 millimeter, just right here. This is where we're gonna fill the crankcase with oil. Now we're gonna drain the oil tank and the crankcase. So the oil tank is just the 12 millimeter right here. We're just gonna undo that, drain it, and then the next is the crankcase. It's a 21 millimeter right here. It should go. So we're gonna drain that and then Next, we'll take off the oil filter. All right, I have the crankcase draining now, and now we're gonna change the oil filter. So just 3 5mm Allen keys. So I'm just gonna. That one's solid. See if it'll come out. So big one at the bottom. These two go up top. Let me move this to get the oil. It should just pop off. And let's just remember that the opening goes towards the engine, so you want to keep this opening towards the engine. Alright, got the oil filter changed, all the oil is drained, then I put the drain bolts back. So now I'm just gonna show you what the the service manual says on how much oil to put back. So we did the oil filter replacement, so we're gonna put 0.58 US quarts here in the crankcase, and then in the oil tank we're gonna put 1.37 quarts in there. So all you need to do is buy 2 of these and you should be good if you're just doing an oil change. Make sure your oil's for wet clutch, and yeah, I'm gonna pour that in now. Just make sure you do the right amount. I have the owner's manual just pulled up, and we're gonna fill it up and continue working on this. All right, we're gonna change the spark plug now, and it's just the CR8E that you need. It's real easy on the Raptor. We're just gonna pop off this boot, and then you just want a 16mm socket. Alright, this is how the old one looks, and this is the new one. It looks like it was running pretty good. It has a brownish tip, so I think it was running perfectly fine. Now we're just gonna throw this new one in, and she should be running better than ever.
Hey, what's up guys? So now we're gonna go ahead and change out our chain. So the chain that's on is just like, it's pretty crappy condition. So we're gonna go ahead and change everything, and we bought the sprockets as well, the rear and the front sprocket. And we went ahead and went with a smaller front sprocket. So this is a 13T front sprocket. Stock they come with a 14, and the rear is a 38 stock. So we just went with a 13T front sprocket, so 1 tooth smaller, and the stock sprocket in the rear. So what that does is it kind of makes the bike feel a little more torquey. We normally ride these bikes at the dunes. We don't do much other riding, so it's beneficial when climbing up dunes and stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and do that and try it out. So the first thing that you want to do is you have these 2 Allen keys right here. I believe that they are 5mm. Yeah, so it's a 5mm Allen. So we're gonna go ahead and undo those 2 bolts, take off the bracket, and then actually let's just go ahead and do that now. So 1. Sheesh. All right. So yeah, we'll undo those 2. And then you have a big, I think it's a 36mm nut under there that we're gonna go ahead and remove. Go ahead and undo this. So it's the plastic cover, and underneath is a metal bracket, so you want to pull those off together. And then great, we got that cover off. So now what we're gonna want to do is we have this big 36mm socket. We're gonna go ahead and take off this with a big impact. But before you do that, what you got to do is this this nut has like a washer behind that has these safety tabs, and you're gonna need to bend these safety tabs a little bit back. I just use a flathead and a hammer. Go ahead and bend this one. And there's one that's a little more flat. There we go. So we got that tab bent all the way back. It's nice and flush. We're gonna go ahead and get our big impact on
Counterclockwise?
on this. So we're gonna do it counterclockwise,
What
like any other bolt. I personally don't really think it matters in which gear you are, because with the impact, if you're doing it by hand, it might, but I would use an impact gun and it'll take it loose quick. So right now I think it's at least in a gear. So yeah, went ahead and take off that big nut, and like I said, there's that washer underneath, and that washer kind of stays on the splines. It doesn't really matter when you put it back on what spline it is. So I'll go ahead and just pick this washer off. Oops, there we go. All right, so next, what I've come to realize is these stock Raptor chains, they don't have a link that can be removed. So we're gonna go ahead and just grind it off. Doesn't matter where, probably more back. We'll go ahead and grind off that one of the links and just take this chain off. Okay, so there we go. I got the grinder. I'm gonna go ahead and just grind one of these links off. There we go. That's pretty much it. And then you can go ahead and just slide. Oops. Go ahead and just pull this chain right off. Oh, go ahead and pull it here from the bottom. There you go. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and replace this front sprocket first. Just take the new one out. So these sprockets, they do wear out. The reason for changing ours wasn't because it necessarily looked worn. It's just because we kind of wanted to try this smaller sprocket. We have a buddy that runs it, and he said it makes a pretty big difference. So we're gonna go ahead and take off this sprocket. There's no alignment, no specific way that it has to go. So we'll go ahead and slide the new one on. So we went ahead and I'd probably just grab the key that we used to So I'll just grab the key that we used to loosen it and just kind of lightly tap it on. Good, and you can hear when it kind of hits, like it's all the way on. Okay, we'll go ahead and grab that little washer with the safety flaps and just put it on, and then we can go ahead and put on the nut again. So this is a little, might need some WD-40 or something. Okay, we could go ahead and just tighten it right now, put it in like 3rd, 4th gear. I'll go ahead and just tighten it real quick. There you go. And then you want to go ahead and just bend these tabs down as a safety precaution so that that nut doesn't come undone. And normally even OEM, it was just one tab that was bent down. They usually don't have both tabs bent. Okay, yeah, we got it bent down pretty good. Okay, should be good. And now we'll go ahead and remove this. Actually, we'll wait to put that bracket on. We'll go ahead and remove these 14mm bolts. You're gonna have to hold them back here with an Allen key, because they're gonna spin completely. What size is it? Here, just give me the GoPro. Put it here. 8mm. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get the impact on them. Ready. Wrong way. There we go. We got one bolt done, and we're going to go ahead and do the rest of the 4 bolts.
How do you get this off?
Okay, once you get those 4 removed, you can go ahead and you just have to, there's enough space to get it off. You have to like play with it a little bit. You can get it off. Oh, well, ours is on a jack stand. I'm gonna raise the quad a second.
Yeah, I should probably. I should just get the jack in the middle.
Well, just you can put the new one on. We'll just go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and put on the new disc, the new sprocket, I mean. So yeah, there you go. We're just going to use the same hardware, so the bolts go in from the back. Go ahead and get all the bolts in. Okay. Go ahead and put on these nuts, just slightly. Matt will just hold them. I'm just gonna impact them on. Okay. Alright, so now that we got both sprockets on, they're both black, so they look a little better than the factory all rusted out ones. We're going to go ahead and get our blue chain on. And one thing that you want to do is you want to undo these bolts over here at the swing arm that adjust the chain. So we'll go ahead and undo those. Again, they're Allen keys. I think they're 6 mils. So ours has a license plate bracket. Might need to take that off. Might take it off anyways. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. Undo those forward bolts. We'll get the chain on, and then we'll kind of show you guys how you want to determine on how much slack you should take off or how much you should keep. So we'll go ahead and do that for now. Okay guys, so you want to get started by just putting on the chain. I'll go ahead and I'll actually go ahead and start with putting it on the bottom and fishing it through. It actually doesn't matter. You could go at the top, might be easier. I'll go ahead and fish it through. Go ahead and put the quad in neutral, it makes it easier. So you could just fish it through nicely. Go ahead and go. Grab it here from the bottom. Slide it up. And then I'm going to slide it all the way till the opening's up here at the top. Just makes it easier. There we go. Oh, this is pretty close already.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we... So what you want to do is grab the... You could grab the link. And I'll go ahead and just grab it and put it through like this. Okay. And now I'm gonna see at what position is the swing arm. Maybe we can
There's a hole.
go ahead and grab something a little thicker. Okay. You wanna rotate the tire a little better.
Oh, I thought we should try forward.
Yeah, go ahead, go forward. However, go ahead and try to see if it tightens or if it loosens. Okay, so now it's loosening. Keep going. You could go a little more just to see. Yeah, so the chain is pretty loose. Okay. Yeah. So what we want to do is, this chain is pretty loose. We might want to go ahead and remove a link. Or actually, let's see if we tighten it all the way. Let's see how tight it can get, you know. Maybe we might be just fine. Because I think this is a Raptor specific chain, so. Go ahead, we want it. Oh yeah, it got super tight. So I want to back up a little bit. Okay, a little more. Okay, maybe we can go back just a hair. Okay, yeah, that should be good. So you want about, they say about an inch of play up and down. Kind of got used to just feeling it out, and this feels pretty good right here. So, and we still have room to tighten, so if the chain does stretch over time, we'll be fine. We can adjust it, we can just tighten it. Sometimes you might have to remove some links, but in our case we got lucky. This is a Raptor specific chain. We didn't have to remove any links. So we're gonna go ahead and put the removable link on, and you always want to put it facing forward. So the rounded edge forward and the opened edge back. Because the way the bike spins, the chain's gonna go this way. The link, it won't ever have any tug to be undone. If you're going forward, and if you put it the other way, and if you nick something or it hits something, it can come undone. So you want to put it just like that. Go ahead and just use some pliers to place it on. There you go. That's pretty much it right there. So you would just want to make sure that there's no gap right here. There's like a little break and it looks like they're touching, so that's how we know it's on good. So that's pretty much it. The chain is pretty much adjusted. We'll go ahead and tighten these 6 Allen bolts in the back. It looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and throw on this cover back with our 2 5mm Allen keys, Allen bolts, and then it should be all done. So we'll go ahead and do that quickly right now. Alright guys, so we just finished up the oil change, the spark plug, the chain. We put the new wheels and tires on and it looks sweet. Super excited. We got the graphics coming in, but we still haven't seen this thing running. So that's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna go ahead and take off. It'll probably run. It cranks and stuff. We just want to make sure that everything is clean before we start it. We actually already went ahead and cleaned this air box, the air filter, so everything is clean. We're just gonna go ahead and take off the fuel tank and empty out all the nasty fuel because we don't know how long it's been sitting. They said a few years, so we'll go ahead and do that. It's just taking off some plastics. You got some 10s, some clips. It looks like over here some Torx. That's not OEM, but that's fine. So we'll go ahead and take those off and then get to the tank, empty it out, maybe do an injector cleaning just so we know it sprays good, and then we should be good to fire this thing up. Alright guys, so we went ahead and just took it all apart. We went ahead and took the inlet tube off, the air intake. The throttle body looks pretty clean, but it does have a little bit of residue, so we're gonna go ahead and clean that. We went ahead and took the injector off, so we're gonna do a cleaning on that. One problem we did see is that the radiator is just rusted out. There's no fluid in there and it's just got rust. So we have to see, we might try to just run some radiator flush through there and see if we can clean it out. If not, we'll buy a new one. But maybe the best option would be to run radiator flush because we got this aluminum take too, so it might just clean it all up. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do this injector cleaning really quick so you guys can kind of see. We do have a video on that if you guys are interested, more specific. We'll go ahead and test this one now. Let's get that plug in. We got these tubes.
Okay, I guess it just is the eBay special.
Wow. Let me get a battery.
Get some carb cleaner in here. Carb cleaner and a battery. Oh my. Kinda need to hold it down. Kind of a weird design. Well, are you gonna turn the battery on and off?
Yeah. Ready?
Oh yeah, that's some pretty good spray.
Oh, don't get on the freaking ring.
Oh, to use these, you're supposed to take the nozzle off this.
And push
Watch,
down?
take this black tip off. Yeah. I think I saw like the image on YouTube. Well, should we do like an old one or? It was working, this system.
Was it working?
Oh yeah.
Crap all over it.
Okay. Now let's see if it.
Okay, so we got everything connected, as you guys can see here, to the jump box. Got the injector and the clamps. We're gonna go ahead and try it out and see how it does.
Oh
my.
oh, there's a lot of pressure.
Hold on, let me open this too.
Okay, so I'm just gonna press. Oh wow, beautiful flow. So I think we're good. Well, this eBay kit works pretty good. That's pretty much how you do it.
There you have it.
For $9 $9.
Yeah, we
pretty
just tried
good
this new eBay
cleaner.
kit. We usually do it with like our own little tool kit we made, but this isn't bad. If you want to buy it, it's $8 on eBay. It comes with these wires with a connector, so it makes it nice and easy. Alrighty, so the injector's spraying good. We'll go ahead and just put it back on. We always just want to check it because we have had it happen before where the injector was dirty and we keep trying to, the quad doesn't run right, so it takes a few minutes and you can just check it, and now we know it's good. So we'll go ahead and throw it back in, go ahead and do a throttle body clean, and probably throw it back together and just throw some radiator flush along with some distilled water and get this thing hopefully started. Alright guys, so we got the most of it together. We didn't put on these few parts because of the coolant. Right now it does not have any coolant. We drained it all out. It was pretty, coolant looked pretty gross. It's down there, so we're gonna go ahead and do a coolant flush, but we want to see if this thing starts first of all. So we got everything buttoned up over here. We're gonna go ahead and just try to start it. I don't know if you want to hold. Make sure these don't fall. Just move them from here. Okay. I primed it a few times so that it can be primed. We'll go ahead and just start it. Put it on run. And let's see. Well, it runs. Gas light was on. Yeah, I didn't want to keep it running too long because, like I said, we don't have coolant in there. But it sounds pretty good. There was a little bit of smoke coming out of the exhaust. But then again, this thing hasn't been running for quite a bit, so I think it should be good. We didn't hear any unusual noises like in the bottom end or anything, which is kind of what we want least. It's not to do a bottom end rebuild, but everything looks good.
Sorry we didn't get any more footage on this quad, but I have a couple pictures and we just want to show you the final product. So it turned out amazing. We added a couple more blue accents like the shift lever, some other caps around the engine bay, and the graphics turned out amazing on it. We'll post a video showing how we installed the graphics. We started using water, soapy water, to install them, and it goes on so much cleaner and easier, and you don't get any wrinkles or anything, and it just looks amazing all cleaned up. So this was it, all cleaned up with new graphics, the new tires, the painted wheels. We painted the grill, and it just looks amazing. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe. We'll post more how-tos, how we installed the graphics, like the best way to do things, because we kind of know our way around these now. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe and give us a like and leave a comment. Thanks.